Yo, we're live. Let me go live on the Instagram too. I think it's not working. Might not be working. We'll see. How's everyone doing? Today we're talking about bar chords in context. I'm very, very excited to be bringing you guys this lesson. So by the end of it, what I'm hoping to instill in you is how to first off play all the bar chords in any given key, like G major. But once you learn G, you'll know all 12 keys. Even if you don't know the names of the keys, this is a great way. We're going to use the guitar as a crutch to teach us music theory. And that's the best way to learn theory. You want it always to be practical. So I'm going to have a nice little doc up here on the screen that I can share with you guys. And we are going to put bar chords in context. We're going to learn the Roman numeral system if you don't know it. And it makes your life easier, all right? It's going to make your musical life that much easier. So I'm excited. If you guys are here on YouTube or anywhere, comment down below, say what's up. I'd love to hear from you guys. And let's do this. So first off, you got to know what a G major scale looks like, or again, any major scale. We're going to do it in G so you can see what that is. That's probably too small, isn't it? Let's do this for now. So right up here, starting on the 3rd fret of the low string, we got 3, 5, then the 5th string, 2, 3, 5, and the 4th string, 2, 4, 5. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. If you want to know the theory behind that, whole half steps, all that, I have a great video called Wrangling with the G major scale. It's one of my best videos out there on theory. I think it's great. So you got those 7 notes. And now, you might just go, okay, well, what do I do with those? I know I can solo with them, but how does this apply to chord theory? Again, I'm not going to tell you how we get all the chords from those 7 notes. Watch that video, Wrangling with the G major scale. But here, we're just going to map these things on the guitar quickly, not have to think about theory. And with a little bit of practice, you're going to be able to play in all 12 keys quite easily. I'm making a bold claim. I'm saying it, but stick around with me for the next 15 minutes and you'll have this down. So one more time, let's, again, way too small. We look there. So we have those 7 notes. All we're going to do now is build the appropriate chord from each of these 7 notes. Now, if you know anything about music theory, your 1, your 4, and your 5 are going to be major. So we're actually going to start with those chords, right? So we're just going to memorize what the 1, the 4, and the 5 look like. So if we go back to looking at me, I'm going to do a G as a big bar chord. So I'm starting on Do, right? That 1st scale degree, 3rd fret. And we're playing an E-shaped bar chord. If you know your F chord, we're just moving that up 2 frets to G. Now, the blues and all these great folk songs and rock songs are based on the 1-4-5 chord progression. What that means, that's my 1 chord. Now I'll go to the 4th scale degree. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 3rd fret on the A string. So there's my root on the 1 chord. There's my root on the 4 chord, right? It's a 4th scale degree. And now I'm just going to learn to build a chord on the first one, which is that. Then a chord from there, we actually use the A shape. And I've got 3, 5, 5, 5. You can use your ring finger. You can use your pinky. I've seen some guys spread the whole darn thing like this. Right? Is anyone there? If anyone's here, say what's up so I know that the chat is working. Hopefully it's working. I think I got my chat, but I don't see anyone chatting away. So say hello to the few people who are hanging out right now. All right, so we have a G major bar chord. We'll call it the 1 chord, and we're going straight down and building a chord there. And that's our 4 chord. This is the takeaway. Now you always know the relationship between a 1 chord and a 4 chord. If we're in the key of F and I go straight down, there's my 4 chord. And that's a B flat. Now, without knowing any theory, using my guitar as a crutch, I know that the 4th chord in the 4th scale degree in F major is a B flat. And you might go F sharp, dude, I don't know what F sharp major is. I have no idea what those notes are. Well, here's F sharp on the 2nd fret. I go straight down towards the floor because that's always my 4 chord. Oh, that fret's a B. So F sharp, the 4 chord's a B, going straight down. All right, so let's jump back to G for a second. My 1 chord, Tim Lettuce says, hey man, how's it going, Tim? Let me know if everything's sounding all right. But we're learning about bar chords and we're going to jam together, so grab your guitars. So I got G going straight down to my 4 chord, which is C. Now the 5 chord, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, So the fifth note of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is just 2 frets above the 4. And because it's also a major chord, I'm just sliding that one I did on the 4 chord up 2 frets. Same exact chord. So now I have 1, 4, 2 frets higher is 5, 5, 2 frets lower back to the 4, 4, 1. And that is a billion different songs. And what I'm going to keep pounding over your head is that once you know that in G and you just learned it, you now know the 1, 4, 5 chord progression in every key. That's the value of not being in open position, right? When you're playing cowboy chords all day, it's really hard to see how they relate to one another because the guitar isn't like linear and laid out like a piano. So it's almost more helpful when you're not in open position. All right, so 1, we're going to jam that. We're going to do 1, and then I'm going to go straight down to the 4 chord, which is the C major. 2 frets higher is the 5 chord, which is D major, and then back to the 4 chord, which is the C. And again, I'm mapping this just 1, straight down is 4, 2 frets higher is my 5. And for those of you who like the tabs, I do have it here, but boom, let me scroll a little bit. So again, I'm taking these 7 notes of the scale. I build a chord on the first one, and that gives me my big bar chord, and I call it the 1 chord. Now, I skipped them just to show you the 1, 4, 5, because those are the most common, right? That one is, right, that's a 4 scale degree. 1, 2, 3, 4. I build a chord on it. Build a chord on the 5th one. That gives me that. So my 1's here, my 4, my 5. And you'll also note, maybe you haven't noticed yet, those are the only 3 major chords that we're going to use in this key. The 1, the 4, and the 5. And if anyone has questions, chime in. So we got 1, 4, 5. Let's do it again. 2, 3, 4. I got a 1 chord. To the 4. 2 frets higher is the 5, and then back to the 4. Back to the 1. 4. 5 chord. D major, and then back to the 4 is the C. Before we learn the other ones, let's put it in a funky key that you don't know the chords of. This is what's cool about this. If I say, let's play in B flat, right? You might go, I don't know what notes are in B flat. Doesn't matter. We're going to find that B flat. And you probably should memorize at least the notes on your low E string. But over time, memorize at least these 2. You'll be doing yourself a huge favor. And the Guitar Journeyman course over at mikesmusicmethod.com on the All Access Atkin plan, have all that laid out, how to go about memorizing this stuff, and it's good stuff. Yeah, I know. Blizzard says a nice pic of MJH. Yeah, dude, my internet friend Anders Fernbach, Anders and then Fernbach, Fern like the plant, F-E-R-N, Bach as in the Bach, Johann Sebastian. Anders Fernbach is an amazing artist, and I do tutorials, and he gives me amazing artwork. That's a freaking pencil drawing. He's so good. Sorry that there's a glare on it, and it's not at all done justice in this frame, but I'll figure that out. All right, so let's do B flat. I know my 5th fret is A. I just have that memorized. So B flat is set, or 7 is B. So B flat, right? It's in between. I can think of that as A sharp, 1 above A, or B flat, 1 underneath B. So it's the 6th fret. And now I know the 1, 4, 5. Let's do it. 1 chord, go straight to the floor. That's my 4 chord. 2 frets higher is the 5. Back to the 4. 1, 6th fret, go down to the 4 chord, 2 frets higher is the 5 chord, back down to the 4, and the 1. Now, you may not have known the chords before, but now if you look at your guitar, you go, okay, B flat. Oh yeah, when I go straight down, that's the 6th fret, so it's D sharp or E flat, right? So B flat, E flat, 2 frets higher. Oh yeah, the 8th fret is F. So you're using your guitar as a crutch to teach you music theory. And this is the way it should be. Everyone should, I would argue that you should learn how to play a little bit, get comfortable with different chords, and then tackle theory. If you do it too early, it's just kind of a grind and not that exciting and fun. Dr. Spider, Happy New Year, Mike, from here in the UK. Thank you, Dr. Spider 2018. I appreciate it, buddy. Happy New Year to you. Merry Christmas. And it's awesome. There's a lot of UK love that I get here at Mike's Music Method. A lot of guys in the UK and Canada. So I appreciate it, man. You guys like your folk music. All right, so we got the 1-4-5. You can now do it in any key, right? We're always going to start on that low E string. Eventually, you learn how to map all this stuff out on the A string. We're not doing that yet. So let's look back at our doc for 1 second, and I'm just going to say, all right, now let's take a look at the second note, right? That's going to be the 5th fret, and I'm going to build a minor chord there. Again, watch my video, Wrangling with the G major scale, if you want to know all the theory. But now I simply map in my mind every time that I'm going 2 frets above my 1, it's a minor chord. And I'm labeling that in my mind as 2. So 2, back to 1. 2, back to 1. And this is also a great way to songwrite, generate when you're jamming with other people. Like, you don't even have to think. I'm just like picking random Roman numerals in the G major and coming up with chord progressions. Or there's common ones. Like a really common one in jazz is the 2-5-1. So let's try that. You think through it. Right, we're in the key of G. So 2 is going to be, right, second note of the scale. It's 2 frets higher than where we started. Do, re, 1, 2. And then my 5, well, that was like what we said. It's the power chord from the, that's another way to think about your 5. It's just a power chord above the root. Or you, again, think of your 4, and it's 2 frets higher than that. It's your 5. So a 2-5-1. 2 is going to be the 5th fret on that low string. It's minor, so that no middle finger there, right? Then I go straight down to my 5 chord. Then to my 1. Stay on that 1. To the 2. 5 is straight down, it's major. To 1. Stay there. Let's do it one more time. The 2 chord is the 5th fret. Minor, so the middle finger straight down is the 5 chord. To the 1. And let's do it in the key of B, right? You might have no idea what a 2 chord is in the key of B. Now you do. Okay, so we're going to go up to B. That's the 7th fret. Again, spend some time memorizing that. Be super helpful. So 7th fret, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm thinking through my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I'm now anchoring my mind on 7. So I know a 2 chord is going to be 2 frets higher than 7. Then my 5 chord is straight down from my 2 chord. Then I go to 1, which is that 7th fret. So that's a 2-5-1. Let's do it again. The 2 chord is on the 9th fret. The 5 is straight underneath it. To the 1. Yeah. So we got the 2, 5, and the 1. Let's see if anyone's chatting away. No bustling over on the Insta. All right, let's just go in order from here. Let's now learn the 3 chord. So for those of you who like to see it, we got do, re, mi. So that is 1 string and 1 fret underneath our root, right? So if my root is 3, I'm there. My 3rd scale degree. And that 3rd scale degree, when we build a chord, it ends up being a minor chord. So that's a B minor. All right, so my 1, my 3, 1, 2, 3, right? We're just going to now map that as being 1 fret lower, 1 string towards the floor. That's always my 3rd scale degree in a major, right? Even if I'm in the key of A, that's always my 3rd scale degree. Key of B, always my 3rd scale degree. So 1, and I do the same shape. I slide it this way and drop it towards the floor. It's always going to be a 1 to 3. Right, assuming your starting note is your 1. So 1 to the 3, and let's go to 4. Where's 4? Or is it? Blizzard says, Happy New Year from Sweden. Hey, this is awesome. UK and Sweden representing. Really appreciate your straightforward finger picking lessons, dude. Blizzard, thank you so much. I appreciate you for saying that. I love doing this stuff. I'm passionate about it, and I'm happy to be bringing finger picking love to Sweden, to all over the world. It's very cool. So thanks for chiming in. And if you got questions, join the Discord. The MM Discord is awesome. I didn't even really know what this chord was prior to people telling me to start one. And I love it. What a great way to like meet people and hang out and communicate. All right, so we got 1. I'm going to go to 3. 2nd fret is B minor. Then where's our 4 chord? Eventually you're going to map it where you know it's just directly under the 1. So it's that C major there. Now let's just make it a 5. So I'm going to go 2 frets higher to my 5. So now our progression is a 1. I wish I could like write it and make it big up on the screen, but I got to hit too many buttons to do that. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So now we're going to do a 1. No, you probably do want to see it. Let me do it this way. We're going to do a 1, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'll just write it here and make it really big. 1, 3, 4. And that way you guys get used to actually seeing it, which I think will be helpful. Got to make it a mono font. Oh, here's your tip of the day, by the way. Whenever you're writing out tabs, you have to use a mono font, which means that things are spaced evenly. Like all the characters have the same amount of space. So regardless of your dash or your number, the mono font keeps things even. Whew. And I played guitar for way too long before somebody told me about that. So we're going to do a 1, 3, 4, 5. All right. So 1 is right on the G. 3. No, now you guys can't see me at all. That's not helpful. Is this helpful? But now the thing's like right in the way. Sorry, bear with me. I can move this, right? That's going to be too small. Whatever. You can kind of see that, can't you? Save. Save new layout. Okay, that you can't see my guitar. This is dumb. I tried my best. All right, I'm here like this. So I got 1, 3rd fret. The 3 chord. 4 is up 1 fret. 5 is up 2 from there. Back to 1, that's the G. 3 chord is B minor. 4 chord. 5. And again, I don't necessarily, of course you can name the chord, but also when you're playing it, you want to just be thinking 1, 3, 4, 5. Because we're chasing, we're after that visual mapping on the guitar to give us all that info so we can play in any key. Now, yeah, if you want to name the chords also, that's helpful. But doing both, what am I trying to say? They have different functions, right? Thinking visually is always faster, but of course, sometimes you want to know the name of the chord you're playing. All right, let's introduce one more. Oh, well, 2 more. Let's do the 6th chord first. So the 6th chord, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. It's that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got the 2nd fret on the D string. Now you might be thinking like, what? Gotta build a chord from there. You could, but I'm not going to recommend you do that. So there's my 6th scale degree. Check this out. There's 2 ways to think about it. If you know how to tune a guitar, you might realize that like this note 2 here is also the exact same note as a 7, right? The way you tune a guitar by the 5th fret. So that 7 is the same note as this 2. Now, if you know a little more about guitar, which I don't know where your skill level is, you can also frame this 2 as being an octave lower as open, right? So these are literally the same exact note, whereas you go 2 strings lower and 2 frets lower, and that's an octave lower. So I often frame my 6 that way. So there's 2 ways I think about it. I can think that my 6 chord is always 3 frets under where I started, right? 3 minus 3 is 0. Or it's 2 above 5, which makes sense, right? 4 was here. 2 frets higher is your 5 chord. 2 frets higher is your 6 chord, and it's minor. Sit with that. That probably is like one of the harder parts there to get. So I can think of my 6 as always being 3 frets lower than my 1. And everyone knows that chord. I heard there was, or that chord progression, a secret chord. And David played and it pleased the Lord, right? 1 to 6, 1 to 6, G to E minor. Or I can think of where my 5 is. That's the power chord on the 5th fret. And then 2 frets higher is up on 7. And it's a minor, right in minor shape there, just like we did in minor. And that's fine, but just keep that in your mind, right? My 5 is there where it's already planted, so 2 frets higher than that is my 6. So we got 1. I had another greeting from Sweden. Sweden representing. What up, Jim? Gin, love gin, love gin. What's happening, love gin? When I visit Sweden one day, where should I go? And who's gonna house me? Isn't your country super expensive? So that's 1 to 6, or I could do it lower. G to the E minor. So just going from 1 to 6. Let's do 1 to 5. So that's gonna be right there where my power chord is, 5th fret. It's major. Let's do 6 from there. So in this case, I would just go 2 frets higher to the 6. Then I'm gonna do 4. Really common chord progression. Where's your 4? Remember, here's a root, straight down is 4. So that's a C. 1. I'm gonna go to 5. 2 frets higher is 6. To 4. That's a really common progression. 1, 5, 6, 4. Hey, Michael Albert. What's happening, Mike? Illinois. I'm from Chicago. Where in Illinois are you, Mike? 6. And then down to 4. Sweden. We got Sweden and Illinois in the house. 1. You've mapped now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or you could have went lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7th chord is diminished, but then you know all of them. So a great way to practice this, and I'll say this again at the end, is to just throw random numbers at yourself, or just look up a list of like common chord progressions and start playing through them in different keys. You'll generate chord progressions. The icing on the cake would not only be to play them and get good at them, but then record them and like improvise over them. That would be awesome. Love Jin says, kind of, I think it's quite inexpensive for you as an American foreigner though. Yeah, I mean, the dollar against your, it's not that crazy. Yeah, I guess I don't know. It's been a while since I thought about that. Oh, Luke joined. What's up, Luke? Are you still hanging out? And the Digital Fate also joined. What's happening, gentlemen? Luke's the man. Luke's a student of mine. You can play, dude. Luke's a young, aspiring guitarist, teenager. I don't know. How old are you, Luke? Not that old, but he is an awesome finger picker. Excited for this kid's future in the guitar journey. He's already like attempting and doing pretty well, trying to learn some Doc Watson. So I'm blown away by Luke's dedication to the craft. Luke, keep at it, buddy. So last chord is the diminished chord. Let's look at that. Now I know everyone's scared of the diminished chord. So it's the one that happens on the 7th scale degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's our 4th fret. Always put it in relation. So another great way to practice scales is like go 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. So you're seeing the relationship 1, 6, 1, 7, just so you start to understand intervals, right? A second, a major third, a perfect 4th, perfect 5th, then go to the 6th note, the 7th note, and the octave. Because this 3 to this 5 are octaves. So we're there. We're 1 fret higher, 2 strings higher than our root. Now, we could just build this half diminished. It's a diminished chord. I always make it a 7th chord. I make it a half diminished 7 just because they're so much easier to play on the guitar. Doing like a diminished chord with only the 3 notes, I don't know. I don't like the voicings. So you can do 4, and then I'm just barring the 5s. Or if you wanted to, you can include that 5. And you want to X that out. It's a beautiful chord. I know it doesn't work in a lot of folk context, but it's quite awesome. So it's just this 4, and then I'm barring the 5s either with your middle or ring finger. And then if I want that note in there, I'm doing middle, pointer, barring with the ring. Right, it works like a lot like a dominant chord, but more on that later. So your 7 chord is, again, you can think up here, or you can think, oh, it's 2 frets higher, but I'm doing a weird shape. Now I know you could do one down here as well, and that would start on the F sharp. Let's not go there right now. I would just do it one of these ways. Maybe put it there for now. It's another lesson. So what we're going to do here is let's just do 1, 7, 1. So I got 1. I'm going to to go up to that 7. Back to 1. If you want to add that lower note, now you know all of them. Let's mix up the key, and I'm putting you to the test right now. Then we're going to call it a day. Let's go to the key of, I don't want to go too high up on the neck, but let's get off the dot. Let's do B flat again. So B flat is the same as A sharp, right in between B and A. 6th fret. I want you guys to think through 1, 4, 6, 3. All right, spend a minute. Starting on the 6th fret, I want you all to do a 1, 4, 6, 3. Dr. Spider says, "Got to bounce. Great to see you live. Been following your content on YouTube for a while now. Keep up the great work. It's certainly making a difference." Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you. These comments go a long way. You taught me my first guitar song, Towns by Lung Van, or Towns' Lungs. Dude, Boro Arc. That's awesome. That's not an easy first song, by the way. So I applaud you. That is far from an easy first song. How long have you been playing guitar? I started when I was 10 and I'm 41. So I've been playing guitar a long time, for like 31 years. I started with like metal and punk and classic rock. Then kind of discovered the Beatles and then Leonard Cohen. So I didn't really start finger picking until, well, even when I discovered Leonard Cohen, I was so like enamored by him that I never really tried to learn any of his songs, which was weird. I think I was just more in love. Well, I'm in love with all of it, but like it was so different for me that it was like a totally different instrument than what I did. But like finger pick, like Blackbird and basic songs like that. And some songs I wrote, I finger picked just kind of based on intuition, and then really got into it when like I kind of discovered Towns and yeah, Cohen to some extent, and then Towns and John Hurt. So probably started picking like 10 years into that journey when I was like, you know, late teens. Again, besides like Dust in the Wind and whatever, but I was mainly playing with a pick for the first 10 years. Cool. So did you guys figure it out? We're in the key of B flat. We're doing what did I say? 1, I don't know what I said. 1, 5, 6, 3, right? So 1 is here. The 5 chord, we're always going to the Sueza moon. You guys are so small on my screen. I'm like blind. I should have my thing closer. Suezo moon, a clay moon. So I got the 1 chord, the 5 chord's 2 frets higher. It's like the power chord. 6 chord is 2 above 5. Then I'm going down to the 3, and I have my root in mind, and it's going to be 1 fret, 1 string lower than my 1. So 1, 5 to the 6, then down to the 3. Back to 1, 5, 2 frets up to 6, down to the 3. That's what I wanted to impart on you guys. I hope this lesson hits home for a lot of people, because I know when I was kind of like, I knew all these chord shapes, and then when someone showed me how they all connect to any given key, it was like that moment, like, oh, I don't need to sit down and memorize like every note and every key and have to go, oh, the 4 chord and E flat. Like, how are guys doing this? Like, what do they just sit there with flashcards and memorize the letters to every key so that they can find them? It's like, no, you're just have a starting point and you're visualizing every note from that starting point, either as a scale, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then chords for all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you're harmonizing your scale. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So look up a list of common chord progressions in Roman numerals, and I would practice that And man, you're just going to have such a better understanding of your guitar neck. And I would say when you play easier shapes, things get more fun. And what I mean by that, instead of always doing the big chords, like I'll simplify them. So the G, instead of doing all of them, well, the top three are just 3, 3, 4. For the A minor, oh, the top ones are just 5, 5, 5. So then you can become a really good lead player based off this trick where I got my 1 chord, 2, my 3, my 4, my 5, my 6, my diminished, my 1. And now I can think through these chords, 1, 3, 4, 5. And I'm only doing like the littlest bit of noodling, but basically I'm using these cool shapes to just generate the melody for me. And again, it's all based off this same exact idea we discussed today, but I'm just simplifying the shape and only getting my brain to think about like the top 3 strings of each shape. And it should be easier than it is, right? That's not going to come fast. You're going to be sitting there like, wait, I'm playing 5 strings. Why is playing only 3 of them harder? Like, what the heck am I actually playing up there? But once you get good at what I showed today, breaking them down into those like minimalist shapes, I call them, they're just 3-note triads. Man, then you can become a great lead player just from doing that. I've been obsessing on this band Twain. They have this song Dear Mexico. All their stuff is great. Go check out Twain. Shania Twain's going to show up, so put in Dear Mexico or their album Noon. But their guitar player is great. He's always just like doing, they're both great guitarists. One guy's finger picking. The other guy's just like follows his chords up higher on the neck. Lovely. Guy's an amazing songwriter. So it's, what's everyone saying? I'm going to go back in time and try the one for, I don't even know what you're writing. Come on, someone tell me this is a bunch of gibberish. What's that, a 6 with a 3? 1, 4, 5, 6, 3. Yeah, so just so you know, I showed it a little bit, but like the Roman numerals can be capital or lowercase. So I'm writing in the chat like, sorry, I don't need to write in the chat. I could just write here. They look like this. The 1, the 4, and the 5 are uppercase because they're major. The 2, 3, and the 6 are minor. Now, again, you learn this in one key real well, and then you transfer it to any key. I know in tab, that's not helpful. That's what I was trying to show you. But it all visually maps on the guitar the same way. Sliding the scales down. Sorry, I'm not quite following, Moon. What's your way of visualizing a 2-5-1? You go to D shape often. I'll try my best. So 2-5-1. Yeah, I'm just like 2 is always just 2 frets above 1. So that's super easy. And I'm doing it this way because the other minor shape, like trying to build the chord that way, just sucks. So I'm here. 2. Yeah, my 5 is just straight down. I'm doing the A shape in this case. But if you wanted to, like you could do this, depending where I'm going, then I can move my pinky to that straight down note and do the C shape like that. Yeah, but usually I'm just going up 2 frets is 2, straight down to the floor is 5 to 1. Now, if maybe you meant Neil. Hey, Neil, by the way, good to see you, man. I got to say, man, I always love your comments on my video, dude. So thank you so much. Like, I don't know how long you've been listening. I know it's been a while since you've been like watching the channel and learning from it. And dude, your comments are awesome. Every time I see them, they cheer me up and encourage me to keep going. So I seriously appreciate it, man. Thank you, Neil. Yeah, and then if I was doing it high, my G looks like this. I'm not going to do all this today. And then my 2 is just all the 5s, barred, right? A minor. And then my D, yeah, I would actually do it here, right? It comes from that 5th fret shape, but just the higher ones. I know I'm going to lose a lot of people at this point because this stuff can be confusing. Yeah. Yo, Flanpad, what's happening, dude? Good to see you. I'm about to sign off, though. We talked about just using Roman numerals and kind of using this simple scale to generate all the chords in G major, but how that applies to all of it. So real simple, within 30 minutes, as long as you're like somewhat familiar with bar chords, within 30 minutes, man, you're going to know how to go from a 1 to a 6 to a 2 to a 3, even though 30 minutes ago you might have had no freaking idea what any of that meant. So I think this is a really powerful, simple, whatever. I don't want to say it's a trick. It'll save you 30 years of time. Just learn this one guitar trick. Learn this one trick. This is what I'm going to post as a thumbnail. Hopefully it shows up as an option later. One trick. Learn the guitar. Everything on the guitar you ever dreamed of. One trick. You'll solve everything. All the riddles in the world. Your mind will expand. Expanding mind. One trick. Everything solved. Stop wasting time. Have you been wasting time in your life? Have you been getting frustrated in your guitar playing? We got one trick for you. Come on over to Mike's Music Method. Learn this one trick. Everything will be better. All your pain will go away. All the sorrow will disappear. Everything good will happen to you. One trick. Only one. That's all you need. One payment of 7 easy payments. No complicated payments. That's a great Mitch Hedberg joke, by the way, about the easy payments and the complicated payments. I'm not going to ruin the joke. I can't tell it. All right. I need to calm down. Are there any more questions? I'm going to get out of here. I was going to record a tutorial, but I decided to drop in on y'all because I think this is an important lesson to learn. Bar chords are a lot of fun. I usually prefer fretting with my thumb. Yeah, so do I. The David Goggins approach to guitar. Yeah, totally. That guy's insane. Like, it's great that he's inspiring people, but then you like listen to a longer form conversation with him. And I feel bad for the guy. Like, I think he's actually like insane. He's like a crazy person for real. But yeah, I do the thumb over the top too, because I've said this. I'll say this again, then I'm out of here. The most common amateur thing, like if you go to an open mic and it's just like, whatever, open mics are great. Sometimes there's amazing players there. But when it's an amateur, the dead giveaway is like, it's all 6 strings all the time. And it gets so tiring. The guitar can speak. 2 notes can often be so much more beautiful than, okay, that's fine, but like, that speaks a totally different language. So I like the thumb over the top, and I don't often play the high E string either. Or thumb, then this is dead, that string, and then my high E is also dead, right? Especially if you're finger picking. And another reason, then you get all this freedom with your fingers. I'll do a cool lesson on blues one day. That's like the funnest trick ever. Then I can just go up to the 4 chord, back to the 1. Oops, sorry. Then the 5. Can't reach on this guitar. And I'm just doing that whole thing in that G shape, and every trick is the same. Same trick here. I'm literally doing the same moves on every different shape. And that's a lot of fun. You do that stuff all day long. It's harder on the wider necked guitars here. All right, that's it. I'm going to go clean up a little bit. Take it easy, everybody. Hope everyone had a good day. Be safe out there. I took my kids sledding on this huge hill, Hartwood Acres, and Pittsburgh. It's amazing, but scary. Saw a woman get like concussed, and it's one of those moments where you're like, holy cow, man. Be safe out there is all that I'm saying. Be safe, have fun, but be safe, okay? All right, guys, take care. Peace. Thank you for jumping on. And I love these long-winded goodbyes. Like you think I'm going to go, and I don't. But I'm going to go for real now. Ciao, guys. Thanks for showing up. Let me know how this lesson went. Please comment if you have any questions or need some follow-ups later on. Peace. First person Q. Flap, Flan Pad. See you guys. Neil, dude, real pleasure. All you guys are awesome. Join the MMM Discord. Flan Pad's there, posting awesome stuff all the time. He's the Discord love winner for sure. All right, later, guys. Peace.